if ferrets start coughing and sneezing to one another. It's also important to note, and I'm sorry that my slides have shifted going from Mac to Windows here, that when ferrets are pre-exposed to seasonal flu, they are fully protected from developing severe disease. So if we compare that to humans, and you all have been infected previously with seasonal flu, it would be unlikely that you would have no cross-protection against a virus like H5N1. And so very few individuals would actually develop severe disease, but most of them would actually be protected by cross-protective immunity. So I'm going to conclude that if you ask me, should this work be done, the answer is yes, but we have to assure appropriate biosafety and biosecurity conditions, and I think that we have met those biosafety and biosecurity conditions very well. And why we would be doing this was, first of all, of course, in the interest of fundamental science. This is the first time ever that we have made an animal flu virus transmissible via aerosol, and this will really allow us to better understand how viruses are becoming aerosol transmissible, and therefore will aid in our understanding for pandemics of the future. Secondly, we think that there's a direct implication for public health. First of all, we try to prevent potential pandemics by putting out warning systems to the countries where H5N1 is circulating. And until today, or until a couple of months ago, the expert advice to those countries about the public health risks of H5N1 were not unanimous, and now they are going to be more unanimous now that we've shown that H5N1 can become airborne. Secondly, because we now know the biological traits of these viruses and the mutations that are associated with those biological traits, we might be able to do better surveillance. We might be able to study viruses in outbreaks and to see whether some of these mutations are already occurring. And indeed, we see over recent years that the mutations that we find and that Yoshikawa Oka found are becoming more prevalent in the field, and that is not good news. If we fail to prevent a pandemic, then we might still be able to handle it better when it hits. And we can do so by testing vaccines, antivirals, clinical management, better with viruses that have the proper biological traits, viruses that are transmitted via aerosol. Now, you've all noticed that there has been an enormous discussion in the public health field, in the lay press, and because there was so much controversy, we and Yoshikawa Oka's group and all other groups that did this type of work and, or had the capability of doing this type of work called for a more